Morning, church. Just want to share with you a little bit of what I shared on Sunday morning. Over the next few weeks, it's likely that restrictions will ease even more in the UK, and with that, probably will bring some changes to our church services, more freedom, more liberty to do things that we've not been able to do for over a year now. I think it's a time where we can really learn in this time, particularly how we treat and interact with others. Now, I realise that there's different liberties and freedoms that people have in terms of coronavirus and the pandemic. Some people feel comfortable in more restricted environments. Some people are completely free and liberal to do what they would like. But I think there's a real point here to learn that we need to be sensitive to each other. And we live in a nation that is divided, not just over views on the pandemic and the handling of the pandemic, but on deeper things and greater things for several years now, at a time in our history which is more divided than ever. And I won't go into the different divisions that people have and the way we are divided in our country and even the world, but we know that those divisions are there. And I think there's a real opportunity for the church to shine really brightly against a backdrop of division in our country and in the world. A time for the church to unite through love. And I think that starts with sensitivity. It's a chapter in Romans 14 where Paul is speaking to some divisions within the church in Rome, and some people had freedoms to eat certain things. Some people felt that they couldn't eat certain things. It was an issue of, can I eat meat or should I just eat vegetables? And Paul was saying that we need to be really sensitive of other people's convictions and views on things. And the issue was not whether you can eat meat or not eat meat or eat only vegetables. That was not the point of chapter 14, which is a lengthy chapter in sensitivity, I believe. And the point was that we really look out for the interests of others, and we don't stumble our brother or sister, but we think about them before we do and act it in the ways that we feel free to do and act. And there's a verse in Romans 14. In verse 19 it says, "So then, let us aim for harmony in the church and try to build each other up." Against the backdrop of these different divisions in the church, Paul's saying, let's aim for harmony in the church and try to build each other up. I also referenced a book on Sunday called The 5 Love Languages. The 5 Love Languages is a book by a really popular Christian book by a Christian psychologist who suggests there's 5 ways that we like to receive love. The 5 ways being quality time spent, words of affirmation, physical touch or affection, acts of service, and the giving of gifts. Now, it's a fascinating read. You kind of get to learn what your love language is and how you receive love. But the thing that always strikes me is what the book suggests, that we often show people love in the way that we like to receive it. So if we like to receive words of affirmation, we will then probably speak words of affirmation to other people to demonstrate love. If we like to receive quality time from people, we're likely to carve out times in our schedule to spend with somebody. But it's not always how they would receive love. So if your love language is to spend quality time with somebody, and you carve out a good hour in your schedule to go and have a coffee with someone to demonstrate love to them, but their love language is words of affirmation, and you spend an hour with them talking about what's going on in life and the different things that have happened in your life, but you've spent an hour and not spoken a word of encouragement and affirmation to them, you might think you've shown an hour of love to that person, but they leave receiving no love because you've not spoke to what they needed. And there's a tendency that the learning point from that book for me is that I can't always assume that what I think that person needs or the way that they receive love is actually the way that they receive love. And again, it speaks to this point of sensitivity and being aware and considerate of other people and how we show love. And I think it's particularly pertinent at this time of easing of restrictions and understanding that not everybody will have the same opinion and the same caution or liberality as you. That there's probably a whole spectrum of views and freedoms on the easing of lockdown. And I want to just encourage us, the church, not to get caught up in the arguments, views, divisions that so apparently mark the world today, but to really have an attitude of sensitivity, of understanding, of not wanting to stumble a brother or sister, and ultimately an attitude of love, because I think that's where love begins. And as I said, I think there's a real opportunity for the church to shine bright against the backdrop of division in our world. I think that starts with sensitivity. So I really hope that's encouraging. I hope that we can do that, really considerate amongst each other as we meet together. And I look forward to seeing more and more people. It's great to see so many people at church now. It's great to see the diversity at church. So many different people with different views, and that's wonderful. And I think that's where unity shines even more brightly. So I pray you have a lovely day, and God bless you.